guys, it's Mia here and welcome back once again to another bookish video. Now I finally finished the Heroes of Olympus series and I'm thankful that I finally finished it because after 4 books I was getting a little burnt out on Rick Riordan. But I did finish it and I will say that the Blood of Olympus was a lot better than the House of Hades. But before I get into talking about this, I want to warn you guys that there will be spoilers for this book, and also if you have not seen my other reviews for the other books in the series, I will link them down below. So if you have not read this yet, I'll see you after you've read it. I can wait. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into talking about The Blood of Olympus, the last book in the Heroes of Olympus series. Now, there is a 2-week time jump between the Mark of Athena, or actually the House of Hades, and this one. So the weasel that was with Hazel that I complained about is gone, thank goodness, because that thing was so annoying. And also, Percy and Annabeth are back from hell, quite literally. They made it through, yes. So there's that. So our teams in this one are Coach Hodge, Nico, who they saved in the last book, and Reina, the Roman leader, or Proctor, I don't know how exactly to say that, but they're going with the Athena Parthenon, which they found in the last book, to take it back to its rightful place. And speaking of the team with Coach Hodge in it, as much crap as I gave Coach Hodge through these books, I feel like he really got redeemed because he actually seems to pull his weight in this one. He administers medicine when it's needed. He's not so like, let me kill him, being reckless. He's actually has a level head and he actually thinks things through and he actually tries to help them instead of doing one thing for the book and then being an annoyance the whole time. Which, after the last book, where even the characters started saying that he was not helping, he was just making things worse, I was sick and tired of Coach Hodge. I even said, cut him out of the story, he does not need to be there, because he is that much of an issue for these characters. But I'm glad they toned down Coach Hodge. I'm glad they got rid of that stupid weasel with that 2-week time jump. And so, yeah. So, while Nico, Reina, and Coach Hodge are taking the Parthenon back to its rightful place, we have the rest of the crew, a lot of names, trying to find ingredients for a potion that cures death. And once again, they cannot all go to one place at a time. They gotta go in teams or in squadrons. They are only safe on the ship because it somehow hides the demigod essence that they all have. So they go in different teams and do different things. Now, a lot of the action in this is kind of told to us secondhand. Like the characters will go through it and then they'll be telling the people on the ship what happened when they get back. And that's kind of how we see it. And with the adventures in this is one of the things that really kind of got on my nerves. So we start out the book with Jason going to the ruins of a special place. I don't exactly remember what it was called. There's a lot of things to remember in these, so don't hate me if I don't remember everything. So they went to this place, and there was a bunch of reanimated, like, skeletons and everything else, because Giza's waking them, and the whole thing that happened with Tartarus. So they go there to try and find one of the ingredients. It was Jason, Piper, and Annabeth. They went together in order to do this. So they were fighting. They managed to get the ingredient, but then a Roman soldier that had died was pissed at Jason because he was with a Greek, or actually two Greeks. So he stabs Jason literally in the back with an imperial gold sword. And imperial gold is not only deadly to monsters in these books, but also super deadly and poisonous to the demigods that wield them. So we spend a lot of the book watching Jason slowly die, and I'm like, this is so horrible. Like, I feel so bad for him, and I don't know what to do because I'm just an observer in this story. Somebody help him somehow. There's got to be a way. And that comes back in when he's on an expedition with Percy. Apparently, when the guy, the skeleton, the zombie, whatever the heck, stabbed him, he told Jason to die as a Roman because he was mad that he was with Greek kids. And the reason that the imperial gold was still infecting him was because he couldn't choose. Do I stay with Camp Half-Blood that I've learned to love? Do I go back to Rome, which was my home all along? He didn't know what to do. But the minute he decides, you know what, screw it. I don't have to choose. I can help both camps. The wound just literally goes away. And I'm like, that is the stupidest way to heal a character ever. It was just kind of, oh, he's not gonna make it. He's being poisoned slowly with this imperial gold wound. Then he's like, I want to help both camps. Oh, I'm healed! Yay! Huh? Why were we being suspenseful if that's how he got healed? That was a nitpick of mine. I didn't like that. But then, speaking of other things I didn't like, since I talked about the good stuff first, you know how in the last book, all the giants escaped hell because they had the doors chained open? Well, they're not used very much. And when they are, it is very fast. Like, all the gods are lined up and ready to take out the demigods of this 7 prophecy. And everyone's like, how are we going to fight this? The gods are still screwed up and all this stuff. And while that's going on, the Athena Parthenon has successfully been brought back by Nico, Hodge, and Reyna, and they had just put it in place. And they're like, how are we supposed to defend the statue? Octavian will just destroy it. I'll speak of Octavian in a second, because he's one of the things that I just want to... Anyway, so as soon as the Parthenon is back, everyone's freaked out, like, how are we supposed to protect this on our own against literally an army of giants? And when they're ready to fight, they're like geared up and ready to die fighting to protect this thing. The gods just come out of the sky. And they're like, you guys are fine now, you seem fine. He goes, with the Athena Parthenon back in its place, our warring personalities stopped because the Greek and Romans are should be at peace now, you know? Like, they're fine, they're good. We don't have to fight ourselves anymore. So their split personality issues, they're gone. They're a thing of the past now. And like, all the giant armies that we were like, well, how are they gonna kill them now? In a span of like a paragraph, they were all gone. The giants just came through and whipped them with the help of the demigods, but it seemed like the giants did more work than our team of 7 did. And then, instead of staying to help kill the biggest bad that has connected this whole series, they say, well, we cannot help you in that. We are not allowed to help you. And I'm like, wait, you're not allowed to help them? You were literally just helping them 1 page ago. You can't just stay there, pop in, help them, and leave? You're just going to leave them to fight the scariest big bad of this whole series. What logic is that? You helped them destroy an army of giants, but you can't help them stay to beat the biggest baddie that they have the most issues with? And an army of little tiny lower monsters. Yeah, that's some logic right there. That's some great logic, you guys. You're really good at your jobs. Anyway, speaking back on Octavian, never before have I wanted to knock a character for a loop so much. He is such a stuck in his own head, little spoiled brat. He is mad because his power of prophecy no longer works, and he's trying to act like it still does. And he's like, well, if I become a hero of Rome, then I can get my powers back, and I don't have to worry about not having powers if it doesn't work. So he's over here trying to amass an army, not just of his fellow Roman soldiers from Camp Jupiter, but from thieves, traitors, murderers, from anyone he can find to join this army. And he branded Reyna a traitor because she went to help carry the Athena Parthenon back, even though it was said in the prophecy that a Roman has to be the one to deliver it back to where it's supposed to go as a show of peace. It said that in the prophecy, but Octavian couldn't have that. He wanted her out of the picture, so he branded her a traitor. So he's another issue they have to contend with. But that is also solved when Reyna brings the Athena Parthenon back. They're like, well, we don't have to fight anymore. We're the same, just from different camps. So, yeah. Then, there's the whole thing with Giza. What can I say about the thing with Giza? So, Leo, Piper, and Jason were the three to take Giza on, while everyone else stayed on the ground to keep away the monsters and all the evil things that were waiting in the army below after the giants were killed. Jason, using his storm to contain Giza because they used Festus, who's back in dragon form. Oh yeah, I was happy when I saw that because I'm like, yes, Festus is back. I love dragons. Can you tell? Oh, I was so happy when Festus was back in his original dragon form. Like, yes! But apparently Leo was secretly rebuilding him. And I'm like, anyway, so Festus, as soon as Giza wakes up, swoops down and grabs her off the ground, which is her domain. So she's stuck up in the air. And Jason's like, oh hell no, you're not going back to the ground. I'll keep you trapped in a tornado. So that's what he does, so she can't driggle her way back to the ground. And while Jason is basically holding her in a storm, Leo is using his fire to turn her to glass every time she tries to dust up, or whatever you want to call it. And Octavian kind of helps get rid of her, but he didn't become the hero of Rome like he expected. He definitely went out in a blaze, but I don't think it was a blaze of glory. He went out screaming like a girl stuck to a catapult because he was too stubborn to listen. When people said, you don't want to fire that, you're kind of stuck to it. But he fired it anyway, and everything went kaboom. So, I feel like with all that, that was handled in a few pages, each, not together, not together, but each. And I felt like I think he was kind of done with this series, and he rushed the fighting in order to get to the happy ending, because he wanted to leave everyone with a happy ending, because it just seemed so quick how fast the battles were done. Especially Giza's, who was the biggest bad connecting this whole series. Everything that happened in this series was because Giza was trying to wake up from her sleep. And I was terrified of her these entire books. Like, what are they going to do when she's able to wake up? I don't know how they're going to beat her if she does wake up. And then it's solved in like a page. And I'm like, why were we afraid of her again? She went out like a bitch. Which she indeed was. But still, that was way too fast for our biggest bad of the series to go out. And that was one of the things that annoyed me. But I felt like, once again, the characters were really genuine towards each other, and they had genuine, also teen issues on top of being these demigods. They were actually handled like kids would be. They had teenager struggles, and that's another thing I like about Rick Riordan, is he doesn't try to glorify their lives. They have real issues like real people do, and I really like that, and I think the characters work really well, and at this point, at this book, they are pretty much more a family than they are friends. And because of the whole Athena Parthenon being back, and Jason saying, I don't want to choose, I can be both sides, the Greek and the Roman camps decide, we know about each other now, we helped fight a war together, let's just be friends, no more of this, I don't know you exist, or grr, fight you, kill you, none of that anymore. So they go back and forth between the camps in order to help each other when needed, train, or just to hang out. So everything worked out well in the end. I just don't like how the final battles were handled because they seemed so fast, especially Giza, who I thought was going to be hard as heck to take out. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, I think, on my Goodreads because of the fights seeming like they were so fast. But what are your opinions on the book? Let me know down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you guys enjoy your reading. Bye, guys.